What's going on, guys? You're on the sidelines with the Sideline guys. I'm Derrick.
And I am Chris. Welcome back.
Welcome back. Welcome back. Good to see you, bro. My bad. I can't even speak. Great to see you, bro.
Yes, sir. I mean, it only speaks to the kind of games we had this week. We
Yeah,
can't even
yeah,
talk
yeah,
now. We just
yeah.
getting
Right.
started.
That's a great way to put it, man. Yeah, man. We got a lot to discuss this week. I mean, not even just the NFL. We could just go ahead and just kick it off right now.
Yes, sir.
I
I'd love to
know you
hear it.
got a lot to say. We just got word over the weekend that Jon Jones got arrested for God, maybe what, the 15th time or something like that. And like, I don't like, I I'm a fan of his in terms of watching him fight, but there was a moment where I was like, man, someone's got to knock him off. Someone's got, it's like
Mhm.
you watch his fights the same way you used to watch Floyd Mayweather's fights, just to almost like see who could actually beat him. And no one was beating him.
Yep.
no
Yep.
one, no one was beating him except for him.
For sure. For sure.
That's just like the bottom line. So go ahead and give your breakdown, bro, because I know we've been itching to discuss this all week.
Yeah, for sure. I just want to start by saying let's protect our women. That's the first thing I'm going to say. And
All
on
day,
this
every day.
September 29th, I want to say happy birthday to my beautiful sister, Victoria.
Happy birthday,
We
Victoria.
spent the time with her today. So just want to
Yes,
say that
sir.
off the top. But on a much more serious note, to set the scene as far as Jon Jones as the character, I think the fact that he's so connected to MMA history is
Yeah,
I mean, you can't mention potential goats without his name being there.
yeah.
And the fact that somebody like this has been involved in so many things like this,
Hmm.
it's crazy. But to set the scene, this guy is the youngest champion in UFC history,
Yeah,
and I believe he was 21 years old when he got the belt.
I think
So
so.
that
Yeah.
that's extremely young for anybody to deal with that sort of pressure, stardom, fame, etc. You see it a lot more
Yeah.
now in the NBA and other stick and ball sports, but
Hmm.
on that level to be a sort of the face of an organization for years, almost a
Right.
decade, over a decade, to be
Right.
frank.
Right.
Um, and the development in his career is really a tragedy, in my opinion, because you really see someone who's in the grips of it all, someone who
Hmm.
is on this ride. And yes, regardless of the professional success he had, he's on the ride and he's doing what he has to do. And
Yeah.
there's nobody that can stop him, like you said. But
Yeah.
you see the traps, you see the shortcomings in a lot of ways. And the first red flag really was that initial car accident he had in 2012. That
Yeah.
took place literally after one of his title fights, and it was taken as, not necessarily the big cry for help that we see it should be, but it
Hmm.
was taken as, this is a young kid, he's driving a fast car and shit
Hmm.
happens. And
Yeah. Yeah.
he wrecked the entire front of his car, and thank God nobody was involved. It was him hitting a tree, and thankfully he wasn't seriously injured. But for a lot of people, that's your rock bottom, dealing
Hmm.
with a situation like that. And that's just the
Hmm.
beginning.
Hmm.
But the main thread is you see his personal life start to interfere with his greatness and his perceived nature of invincibility.
Yeah.
In that fight against Gustafson, literally the fight that was just inducted into the Hall of Fame,
One of the best fights.
literally in UFC history, it
Yeah.
was. If there's a lot of times where I try to get people into MMA, you could show them that fight. That's one of
Oh
the
yeah.
fights that you could watch and you feel it, you
Yeah.
understand what it's about.
Yeah.
Um, but his story with that fight was the only reason why it even looked close was because he was partying the entire time leading up to it. And he admitted that he almost told him that as an excuse. Like he knew the
Yeah.
fight was going to be hard. He knew
Yeah.
it wasn't going to be easy, but instead he felt that he was so high above his peers that he tricked himself to believing, even if I lose to this guy, it was because I was partying. It was because I wasn't taking it seriously. And there was
Hmm.
photos then that you would see in
Hmm.
between camps where this is a guy that's extremely well built. He comes from
Yeah.
an athletic family with his two brothers who are NFL studs. Chandler Jones, who's still doing his thing in Arizona.
Killing it.
Um, you see how physically great he is, and
Hmm.
there was pictures of out there of him about from that time where
Yeah.
he looks extremely out of shape. He
Yeah.
has a big gut. and he doesn't even look like the same person. Like the tattoo verifies it,
Yeah.
the Fallacians tattoo. But besides that, he doesn't look like the same guy. And
Yeah.
that should have been the cry for help. And that was just the beginning.
Yeah.
After that, he had a bunch of issues with steroids and popping for steroids, popping for cocaine. Um, he indulges in the white lightning. He talks about it, but then he also like there was a lot of articles about this because
Yeah.
he'll say stuff about it and he'll sort of tip it off, but then he'll say like I'm doing everything I can through God to get better, and that's always his thing.
Mm-hmm.
And with all due respect, that's all you could ask of anybody. Let's be clear.
Mm-hmm.
But when someone's continuing to show you that that's not the path that they're on, regardless of what they love to tell you, I always think back to in that second DC fight in the lead up to UFC 200. He says, I see your poor PR lady over there, and I see a look of fear in her eyes because she knows she's fighting a losing battle. And that's so poignant when you think about it today, because since then he had issues with steroids, cocaine, all this stuff that he just admits, it's fine. This is what I do. I'm probably going to do it again. Like he's very frank about it. I'm probably going to do it again. I don't have a problem. I just need to be better.
Right.
Now we get to the spot where he's taking time off to do better, etc. The most recent arrest before this dust up happened at the beginning of the pandemic, and a lot of people graze over this because nothing came of it. He was able to fight again without issue. So it was looked as like nothing happened there. And frankly, that's how Albuquerque handled it. But he was caught with an open container of alcohol. He was caught with a gun. He was apparently letting off shots in the middle of Albuquerque, talking to homeless people. And this is where I want to get down to, because I'm not here trying to say, Jon Jones is a bad person. Jon Jones is a piece of shit. I'm not here to say that. He's done a great job of allowing everyone to say that about him. What I'm here to say is that this is such a tragic story. When you're looking at the way he's going, there's no hope for this getting better.
Oh no.
And I haven't even mentioned the car crash with the incident with the pregnant woman, in which he fled from the scene. No, don't forget, he ran away, but he came back. You know what he came back for? He didn't come back to check on the woman who was pregnant. He came back to get his bong. He came back to get his weed.
Yeah.
What in the fuck? Like, that story alone shows where his head is and how he doesn't really care.
I think that was a moment where I knew for certain this was never going to get better. Like, ever. Because if I'm not mistaken, that was that before the first DC fight?
Yeah, that was 2016.
2016. I can't remember when that was. The first DC fight in 16 or 17? I
think it was 15. Let me 15. Double check that. I'll run the numbers on that.
Because like, you could see where like it was at this point where he was going through everyone, and DC seemed to be like the only guy that was probably capable of being able to stop him if he was able to stay on that path.
Yeah, and that fight was also, you were right. It's 2015, January 1st.
Okay. So yeah, like it's it sucks because he pushed that one back because of getting in trouble so many times. Like, and you're right. You can't discuss the GOATs of MMA without Jon Jones being in the conversation. The problem is, I think without all of these legal issues and him just going out of just going crazy, without all of that, I think he would be considered the GOAT. Like, it wouldn't even be a question.
Still hasn't been beat.
He hasn't. And the only time he lost was due to disqualification, right? Yeah. It wasn't even like he actually lost the fight.
And there's some controversy there. There's a couple fights that a lot of people argue should have been scored the other way, but that doesn't matter at the end of the day when you look at the record books.
When you look at the record, that doesn't even matter, because I could argue that he actually lost the Gustafsson. I can never pronounce that name right.
Gustafsson. Yes, sir.
Jesus.
At least you didn't pull a Ben Roethlisberger and say Gus Davidson. All right.
Right. Oh
You're
yeah,
good. You're
yeah,
good.
yeah, yeah. But like you could argue he won the first fight.
Yeah.
Like it was that close where it looked like you couldn't get mad if one of the judges put it his way instead of Jones's way, right?
Mm-hmm.
So like I think if he was, and I'm starting to see parallels between him and McGregor, honestly, because McGregor is on that path too, where it may not be a legal issue. I mean, he did have one, what,
Many,
2 years
many,
ago?
many,
Yeah,
multiple. Yeah.
yeah. But I'm saying like recent in recent history, it was like
No,
one.
it was two. There was a rape case, and there was also punching a
That's
elderly man
right.
in a bar.
I forgot about the rape case. Yeah, yeah, yeah. So like you could almost argue that they're experiencing like almost the same type of thing where that success just got to their heads. And but I'm wondering, like, with Jones's brothers being in the NFL, like I don't
Let
want
me
to throw
back it up a little
CTE
bit.
out.
I got you. Yeah, because I'm gonna get there because it's real, and this is why I was gonna mention this earlier, but let me bring it
Uh,
full circle with that.
okay, okay.
Um, that last arrest in Albuquerque at the
Yeah,
beginning of the pandemic,
yeah.
there's video, and I encourage you after this to watch it because
Mhm,
it's sad. It's
mhm,
it's one of the saddest things I've seen in this whole Jon Jones situation. And he's clearly drunk,
mhm,
and you could see he's a man who has respect for authority. He's a man who respects his officers. He's not being a certain way with them, but at the same time, he's trying to win them over. You could
mhm,
see he's trying
mhm,
he's trying to make them feel for him.
mhm.
And one of the things that he keeps saying to them whenever he's failing the sobriety test is he's like, I've taken brain damage, I've been in a lot of fights. Like you can't expect me to walk straight.
He said that?
Yeah. And that was his excuse. That was his
Oh
excuse.
man.
And if you look into this TMZ report of the whole issue that's going on, it comes back to that again. And his whole he let out a post recently, and we're gonna get to this. I'm gonna skip over that. Let me finish my point here. So he even is saying to the officers, as I'm not drunk, I
Mhm.
have these issues that I'm dealing with because of my career.
Yeah.
And listen, I'm not a doctor, but I'm not one to say that you're naive for thinking that way. Like you're in the hurt business. I'm sure there's going to be many more idols from this sport that we love to see as they continue to grow up. They are going to keep having issues. BJ
Yeah.
Penn, Chuck Liddell. These are
Oh,
some that you could think
BJ
of now,
Penn went down hard.
man. And it's so sad because you see it really with the highest highs and the lowest lows.
Hmm.
When it came to that whole situation and that whole first arrest drop, I felt, you know, after all these rock bottoms you already hit, that needs to be the time that you fix your shit. Like you're
Right.
home, you have the time, you should be able to figure out what's going on because this is enough wake up calls for any sane person to try to get their shit together.
Right.
And the
Right.
scariest part about this all is this one, I'm sure is not the first time that this happened
Right.
because when you read this TMZ report, you could you could read the battered woman syndrome. And I'm not
Hmm.
here to
Hmm.
talk about her at all.
Hmm.
I just wish the best for her and her children.
Hmm.
But at the end of the day, you can tell that the fear is there. You can tell just based off the way she interacted with the cops and the way she didn't want certain things to happen and was concerned about when he was coming back. This is all tangible. And when your kids are asking the front desk at a hotel to call the cops, that really says that this isn't something that is the first time, second time, third time.
Whoa.
This is something that is
I missed
happening
that part.
often.
His
It,
kids requested the cops to come.
yes, his youngest daughter specifically. And when the cops went into the room, she has blood. She has blood on her sweatshirt. She has blood coming from her lip.
Hmm.
And when the officer asked her if they got physical, she goes, nothing too serious. They got physical, but nothing too serious. He like pulled my hair or something like that. He's like,
Hmm.
but ma'am, you have a cut on your lip. She goes, yeah, I know they're dry. My lips are dry. So and when they go into the room, there's blood on the sheets. It's just so obvious what's going on.
Hmm.
And at this point, like I'm not here to say anything about it's clear the character of man you are when things like that are coming out. But at the end of the day, I I'm not here to talk about that. The
Yeah.
real story is this is bad. This has been
It
bad for
is.
years, and this needs to be 100% fixed. He came out with a post where he's lifting weights, and he's saying, my brain, once again coming back to this, my brain has been through too much trauma to continue dealing with the alcohol. I'm gonna leave that in the past. So through all of this, the thread, don't get me wrong, brain trauma has to be a factor, in my opinion.
Yeah.
But there's no responsibility or accountability. And
At
that's the
all.
thread. That's
At
the
all.
thread with all of this. And that's why
Yeah.
DC is right, man. I really think this never will stop. And this is scary. I fear
Yeah.
for his wife. I fear for his family because this is a dangerous man. You
Yeah.
see, you
Oh
see
yeah.
videos of him. There was a video of him in the pandemic as well, where somebody tried to rob his house and he's chasing him off his property with a machine gun.
Yeah.
This
Yeah.
is this is
Yeah.
not this is not some
Yeah.
tame dude. Like
Yeah.
this is a dangerous person.
Yeah.
And I feel bad for law enforcement that has to get called to his house because you never fucking know. In the reports, he said to the cops that he was threatening them, oh, you should let me go, and we should see how long will last, all of us. Talking to all of them at the same time, just me and you guys, all of us. And the charges stem not because of domestic violence, because all of that was brushed off by the family. And once again, I'm not here to judge her at all. I understand how
Yeah.
complicated that is.
Yeah.
But the charges stem from while he's getting arrested, he slams his head into the car hood in
Yeah.
order to make a scene.
Yeah.
So it's just crazy to me. And he even said to them, this is the last line because this really shows the entitlement for me, and I'll let you take the real wheels from here. He told them, you guys are gonna do this to me on the biggest night of my life. That's what he told them. It's like, how fucking clueless are you, man? Like, how clueless are you, dude? Like,
Yeah.
be a God-fearing man, but stop lying to yourself
Yeah.
because nobody else believes it. And you have Dana White. This is the bullshit. This is what I also hate. You have Dana White coming out. Oh, it sucks. We can never bring this guy to Vegas. This shit happens all the time.
Hmm.
But you're not gonna do anything about it. You're
They
not gonna do anything
they
about it.
won't discipline him.
Dude, Greg Hardy came from the NFL and got spoon fed a career. He's a bum, with all due
And
respect.
I don't know why. Like
He's a bum, and he got spoon fed a career because of his name.
yeah.
So because of Jon Jones' name, he's not. They're not going to do anything about this.
Yeah.
And this is what you should be taking seriously, especially in this sport,
Yeah.
because at this point, it's not even about Jon Jones' legacy; it's about the future of the sport. And when things like
Yes.
this are happening,
Yeah.
it makes all the people that are doing it the right way. It makes
Hmm.
them look insane, but also I don't feel like anybody should be grouped in that just because of how much of an outlier this man is as a
Yeah.
character. You mentioned the similarities with Jon Jones. I mean, sorry, with Conor McGregor.
Hmm.
That that's nothing. Conor McGregor is a piece of shit too, but that's
Yeah.
nothing compared. Like what
Yeah.
Jon Jones has done is 10 times, 15 times more than what
For
Conor's ever
sure.
done.
For sure.
And the precedent's already there. They have no reason to want to do anything and discipline him because they know they'll make money off his name.
That's it.
And my point, I'm going to wrap it up with this. I think he was doing the right thing sitting out and trying to get more money because of the realities of the sport, because of the
Yeah.
things you're seeing with him and
Hmm.
with a lot of other fighters, I'm sure.
Hmm.
That's why I advocate for no matter what, they should be the most paid athletes in any sport, regardless of anything. But with that considered, you have to have some sort of personal responsibility. You cannot just say this is because of this is because I have this. This
Yeah.
is a pattern of violence. This isn't a pattern of misdemeanors. This is a pattern of clear violence.
Hmm.
And I just I have this is on the level of War Machine. This is on the level of Jason Mayhem Miller. Like this is on
Hmm.
the
Man.
criminal
Yeah.
in a couple years you could
Yeah.
see, like, I honestly think out of anybody that I could think of, if it was to come out MMA champ, former MMA champ charged with murder, I'm gonna assume it was Jon Jones.
Yeah.
And you don't want to be here
Yeah.
for anybody,
Yeah.
like it's just a sad situation, and I
Yeah.
don't know the answer to it. I what do you do?
Nah,
I don't know what you do.
I don't know either, and that's why I think like the UFC is actually in like this that space of being in between a rock and a hard place because there's nothing that you can just automatically do. he won't get like he won't get the gravity of this situation unless like he actually he's forced to deal with what's going on. And I think that the fact that that he is he's so entitled, and the fact that he doesn't seem to really care, like at least he doesn't care about how this affects his family. It's literally just about how this affects him.
Mm.
That's it. That's it. And I agree. Holding out for the contract for moving up to heavyweight. I agree. I have no problem with that. Um, but at this point, it doesn't even make sense to do a fight because I almost feel like we're gonna it's gonna happen like the same. It was like the first was it the first DC fight where we kept getting close, 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 and then
Second.
bam, it was the second one where they were getting close to it,
Mm-hmm.
and then it like I think we're gonna have that same situation. I don't care who he's going against, whether it's Ngannou or Derek Lewis, whoever you want to talk about, whoever he fights, that's what's going to end up happening. We're going to get close to weigh-ins, and then all of a sudden he gets popped for whatever drug, or it's something to do with some type of violent act or whatever. I don't know. I don't trust Jon Jones. I
At
don't
this point,
trust him.
it's sad. And
It
what
is.
bugs
It's
me out about
pathetic.
this is if he does fight again, it
Mm-hmm.
won't be some sort of rectification or some sort of you need to make a statement. You need to
Yeah,
no, it'll be promotion.
that's it.
This is what imagine that. Imagine if the team that Deshaun Watson gets traded to runs a promo video about his legal issues. Does
Yeah.
that make sense to you?
No.
Like as an organization, the UFC wants to put themselves on the same playing field as the big three, and they always love saying, we pass soccer, we pass this
Mm-hmm.
bullshit. Because
Yeah.
no serious organization that cares about anything more than money is gonna run promos like that,
Yeah.
and they do it consistently. They've
All
done
the
it.
time.
They've done it with McGregor with
Mm-hmm.
the bus situation.
Mm-hmm.
Um, they have no incentive, and that's the sad part. They have no incentive to address these issues,
Right.
and they'll be quick to go and do a video and point the finger at him and be like, "Yeah, you're fucking up. Well, you're an enabler.
Yes.
You're allowing all of this to happen."
Yes. Yes.
Regardless of how much money you think you're leaving on the table, it's irresponsible.
Yeah.
I don't. It doesn't make sense to me because
Yeah.
these aren't these aren't investigations. These are convictions.
Yes.
So
They actually
he
happen.
needs to be. He really needs to go to jail. And unfortunately,
Yeah.
I don't think he'll see jail time from this encounter.
Oh no, not
Um,
not at all.
dude,
It's gonna be a too little too late type of situation
mm,
by
yep,
the time he actually goes to jail. There's nothing that they're going to be able to do right now to make sure that he goes to jail unless he kills someone.
mm.
And that it
He has too
sucks
much
saying
money.
that.
Yeah.
Yeah, he has too much money, and he's entitled. He's an entitled. He's acting like a child,
Mm,
to be honest. And like I know he's had issues like he's had some loss. I think his mom passed away and his sister
yeah.
also passed away. So I
It's
know
hard.
there's a lot of stuff that's gone on, but at the same time, when you're putting yourself and your family first and foremost, then yourself at danger, when you're doing that consistently, this is not like this is just like one time where you think it might be like a accusation. Oh, he might have a side that is more truthful. No, like it's a pattern. It's a pattern at this point, and they're going to continue to ignore it until it's too late. And then once it's too late, now we're going to apologize. Oh, we should have done X, Y, Z. Yeah, hell right. You sure you should have. And that's the thing. That's the sad part. Dana White is going to continue to bring in Jon Jones and McGregor as long as they're making money, and they're going to make money because everybody wants to watch the fights, right? McGregor has gone on this terrible slump since he fought Mayweather, and it doesn't even matter. It doesn't even matter. as long as he's attached to a card, that card is going to explode. You know what I'm saying? So hey, I mean, I think the UFC has enough stars that they could carry on without these two. They're not going to though.
And that's the weird thing. It's not even that they have enough stars. They put themselves in a position where they don't need stars.
They
I think
don't.
they learn from Connor. They don't want to give anybody that power.
Yeah.
They're in a position where they're the star. The UFC is the brand.
Yeah.
UFC is the one that people look for when it comes to mixed martial arts. So
Yep. Yep.
they're trying to make it so that they're less low key. So when it comes to these people, I think like the higher end stars that they end up finding their way into stardom.
Yeah.
I think that they're just like you said, they're just doing everything they can money wise to continue to keep that train rolling.
Yeah.
And at the end of the day, the fact that you're doing this with people like Greg Hardy, the fact that you're allowing situations like this to continue,
Mm-hmm.
how far are you going to let it go? Because everyone's always talking about, you don't want to see a death in the octagon. You don't want to see somebody
Right.
die out there. This is on that level. This
Oh yeah.
is if imagine the 30 for 30. Like they
Oh
have
bro.
enough to do, like that's gonna be insane. Like when
I'm
he's
looking
retired, the
forward to the 30
coverage,
for 30.
the documentaries about him,
Mm-hmm.
because I think people don't understand how unprecedented this is
Yeah.
for somebody who's on that level, who everyone considers to be the Michael Jordan of MMA, the person that is the when you think of MMA, you point to
Mm-hmm.
this person,
Mm-hmm.
and the fact that all these issues, this is bigger in my opinion than Daryl Strawberry. This is bigger than
Yeah.
those things
Yeah. Yeah.
because they may be doing whatever, but he was dealing with these things in the limelight. There was talks of what was going on and
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
things like that. This is being
Yeah.
dealt with so upfront. The
Yeah.
legal issues are so just like literally there before the issue in Albuquerque, there was another a case that got dismissed with the stripper, like at a strip
Yeah.
club.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's
Yeah. Yeah.
it's just insane pattern of violence and skullduggery from this man. He needs to
Mm-hmm.
get his shit together, young man, like DC said in that promo.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
And at the end of the day, it's fucked up because you want to make jokes, you want to make light of the situation, but this is a case of somebody that seriously needed help years ago.
Oh yeah.
Years ago. This
I
is
think
somebody
we're 10 years too
who
late.
should never be driving, who should have never been driving around anywhere,
Yeah.
who should have a show for. Listen, dude, you're on a level that few people reach in this sport.
Mm-hmm.
If you know you are that kind of person, and if brain damage has changed your risk management abilities,
Mm-hmm.
you should be conscious of that. You should be able to put the things in place to stop yourself and keep the train rolling at least while you're active.
That's assuming he's able to be responsible and own up for his mistakes.
And he's shown he
And
hasn't,
he can't.
because all he does is cross to God and say, "I'm sorry,
Yeah.
I'm a man of God, and I'm going to keep moving forward."
Yeah. And
Well,
that's why like I think that what Israel Adesanya is doing, like he's on the path that Jones is on early on. He's on that path. And I'm hoping that he stays steady and does he say stupid things every once in a while? Yeah. But that's like the
worse.
furthest that he goes. Yeah. Is that's the if that's the worst thing you could talk about with Adesanya, I don't care. Like
Mm-hmm.
I really don't care. I think as long as he maintains, how he's conducting himself, to me, Adesanya could actually be what Jon Jones should have been.
Mm-hmm.
I wholeheartedly believe that.
And the crazy part is, I think with how great he's been, we'll never have the answer to that question, to how
Mm-mm.
great Jon Jones should have been.
Yeah,
And
no,
and he's an all-time great, and he's
yeah,
someone that is undefeated.
yeah,
So
yeah.
this is, in my opinion, the biggest story in MMA from a casual standpoint.
Mm-hmm.
I don't understand how there hasn't been documentaries about this already. Like
Oh,
this is next level. Like this is, and all the red flags are there, and it just continues to keep happening, and
mm-hmm,
in different ways and in more intimate ways, like you were saying, with his own
mm-hmm.
family involved, and you just hate to see it. I don't like what it does for the sport. And at the end of the day, I say this because I care about all these athletes, regardless of if you put yourself in a position and make people feel like you don't deserve that.
Mm-hmm.
I care for all of them. And I hope at the end of the day he does whatever he can to get right. But
Yeah,
at this point, it's not even about getting to a point where it's redeemable or forgivable. Like
yeah,
this is done. Like you know where this is going, and it's gonna keep going until it
yeah,
stops.
Yeah, I was actually just telling a friend of mine the other day. Like, truth be told, I think this is the end of his career. I don't
I
see.
hope it is. It's
I do
impossible
too.
though.
I do too. But like again, that's the problem. The UFC will continue as long as as long as he is a free man and he's able to attend these different events and continue to make weight. They're going to continue to push him on cards. I, they're going to be responsible for something.
And
Something's going to happen.
let me just drop one more nugget for the talent. This is
Yeah.
the level of talent. So he was considered somebody when he was 23 years old that was doing things that was on the forefront of MMA, things
Yeah.
that weren't being done,
Yeah.
moves that didn't make sense.
Right.
And when he first started training, this wasn't this is what's so crazy to me. He wasn't some Olympic caliber wrestler. He was not a D1 wrestler. No, he went to JUCO college,
Mm-hmm.
junior college,
Mm-hmm.
and did his wrestling programs there. Was exceptional, but not an athlete by any means.
Right.
With all due respect, junior college compared to D1 is a huge difference.
Yeah.
And this is somebody that learned how to be extraordinary, so ahead of his peers that there was nothing like him before him.
Yes. Yeah.
And he said that when he initially started striking, he learned striking from videos. He learned striking from watching
That's
people do
wild.
it without a trainer, without anything, and was able to pull these things off not only in camp, not only training, but in a fight.
Yeah.
Like that's insane.
Yeah.
There's people that train for years that don't even get to show the skills that they've trained for years in the octagon because of how different everything is when you're in there.
Yep.
And the fact that he's self-taught to a certain extent at the beginning of his career
Mm-hmm.
and changing the sport, changing the way people view the sport. That's the
Yeah.
level of talent. You can't match that. There's not a I would say even Adesanya is not even on that level when
Oh
you
yeah.
consider the level of talent because
Yeah. Yeah.
Adesanya had a long storied career in kickboxing and he was very good in there, but he never reached the heights as well, the same way as Jon Jones. He never reached the heights of kickboxing.
Mm-hmm.
But it's just insane. And I just
Yeah.
wish that at this point, I don't, I don't, in a way, this is gonna sound messed up. I don't wish good things for him. Like
Yeah.
I don't wish that he continues to have a great career, continues to be undefeated.
Yeah.
In a lot of ways, you know the come up is coming. You're seeing it
Mm-hmm.
in the decline. You know, Father Time gets everyone, and
Oh yeah.
his last couple of performances have been his worst performances.
Yeah. Yeah.
And they're still great, which is
Yeah.
saying a lot. But
Yeah.
at the end of the day, like you said, it's just even if the UFC was to take action, this is the saddest part to me. Even if the UFC was to take action, you know how fast those other organizations are going to pick him up.
Bro,
Like that, it's not even a matter
Bellator
of time. They do not care. There's no reason for them to care.
Bellator will come out so fast.
It's sad, man. It's sad. I just wish that Albuquerque would do something about this shit because at this point, his rap sheet is longer than literally his
Bro.
record at this point,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
he just needs to get his shit together. And the UFC at this point should be taking some heat for this because it makes no sense that they've enabled him into this position and we're still in the same spot so many years later.
Yeah. 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 It makes no sense.
But let's talk
Oof.
about some athletic excellence. We
Yeah.
don't gotta deal with these criminalities. All I gotta say is, man, this was a good week in the NFL.
Yes.
We learned a lot.
Yes.
And not only did we learn a lot, but you're starting to see the pain in the ass that is the NFL season and a ton of injuries across the board. A lot of teams getting hit
Bro.
up.
Fast
And
too.
and it
It's a
always,
rapid pace.
yep. And it always ends up this way where it's just like who's healthy at this time and who's facing who at this time. And honestly,
Mm-hmm.
that's one of the most interesting times in the sport, if you ask me.
Yeah. 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 Man, I don't know. I don't know. I because we got hit hard.
You want to start there? You want to start with the
I just
Monday
want to get
night
out the
game?
way, bro. I want to get out the
Okay.
way, man. I don't even want to. I
You're more
like.
accountable than Jon Jones, bro. You're going
Yeah,
straight
yeah,
to
oh
it.
yeah, oh yeah, 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 yeah. I'm not running.
All right.
I think see and someone I was talking to someone what yesterday about it and they think I'm making a lot of excuses, okay? I didn't even talk about the injuries. We had a couple of injuries. We had a couple of injuries this
Big
week.
ones. Big
Yeah,
ones.
yeah, big ones. Isaac Sayamalu gone for the season. With I think it was a Liz Frank or a fractured foot.
And I will say that is a tough injury to
That's
come
a
back from.
tough one. Yeah, that's a real hard one. Um, Kayvon Wallace separated shoulder. He won't be back for I think 3-4 weeks. Um, and Brandon Graham went down with the Achilles last week. You know, still with all of that, I thought we had the opportunity. The opportunity was right there, and I
Early
think
game.
early, early, we let that go away way too early. And you know why? Play calling,
Mm. Same
play
issue as
calling,
last week.
play calling. It's the same issues as last week. And again, I'm not panicking, but I think if we get to if in the next 2 to 3 weeks we have the same issue, yeah, Nick Sirianni got to figure something else out. Like
Mm.
it can't, you cannot, because the weird thing is we are still able to win this division. And like we don't have to beat Dallas to win the division. Who cares? We're gonna split the games with them anyway. So they won theirs. We're gonna win the last one, right? That's it. Happens every year.
Clip that. Clip that.
It happens every year, bro. So I'm not worried. Washington and New York look horrible. So I'm not worried. The thing I'm worried within house. I'm not worried with the other teams. Nick Sirianni got to figure something out. You cannot run the ball 3 times in a game. Like
Mm.
who the hell does that?
Yep.
And I got on Doug Peterson last year about this, not utilizing Miles Sanders properly. He would go for a big gain in the first half, and then the second half you don't see him. You'd barely see Miles Sanders out there on that field, and it makes no sense. You have this exceptional talent right there that can do what needs to be done. Jalen and Jalen Hurts. I mean, this is his second year, so I'm not really like. Yes, he deserves responsibility for what happened. You know, he should share in the responsibility for it. But the only thing is one intercept, the first interception that he threw, that's on him because he underthrew it. Right, the other
Mm.
one bounced off hands. Like I'm not blaming him for that. You know, it bounced off hands and went the other way. So you have these different issues on the offensive line, which oddly enough, we're in a better position this year than we were last year with the offensive line being going down. Truth be told, we are in a better position, but this is not something you want to see.
For sure.
This is not what you want to see. And Nick Sirianni got to do better.
I was gonna say
That defense was doing even in spite of the injuries. Gannon had those guys rolling, and
mhm,
Javon Hargrave, my God, like Hargrave and
putting in
Josh Sweat,
work. Putting in
those
work.
two were killing it.
Got a turnover. What was it? Basically in the end zone.
Oh, it was.
Yep.
Hargrave forced it. Fletcher Cox took it, and that was it. And it was quick too, lightning fast.
And
So
that was the plays we were coming into the game expecting. You know, that
yes,
was
yes,
and real quick, I'm gonna jump in. I'm gonna give a little bit of my flavor into this one. I
please,
think
please.
I think this comes full circle to something we was talking about week one. And this is surprising because we love
Mm-hmm.
to talk shit about Zeke, but through 4 weeks, let's look back at our talk from week
Yeah,
one. I
yeah,
said that I
yeah.
thought Saquon was one, Zeke two. Well, you know the rest.
Mm-hmm.
Right now, you'll be surprised to learn that the leading rusher out of that AFC East is Ezekiel Elliott after last week.
Oh,
Number
I'm not
two,
surprised.
number two is who? Number two is who? Do you know who number two is?
I'm pretty sure it's
Gibson.
Sanders.
It's
It's
Gibson.
Gibson. Gibson.
hmm
Really?
Sanders is three, and Saquon's 20 yards behind Sanders. So this, once again, I agree with you to an extent here. I think the issue is in the play calling, but I really need to figure out what's the reasoning. Because at this point,
There's a reason behind
you're
it.
saying who does this,
Yeah.
There's line issues. That's easy to point to. But with a young quarterback, you need to do that. You need to run the
Yeah,
ball. You need to.
yeah. Especially when you're
So,
barely out there. Like,
and I don't want to take real quick. I'm going to jump in to say I don't want to take anything away from the Cowboys because they look
yeah.
exceptional.
Oh,
Their win last week looked
Parsons looked phenomenal.
for sure, for
Yeah,
sure. And
yeah,
I've been tooting that horn all year.
yeah, yeah,
But beyond that, I don't think they should have been made to look as good as they did last night on Monday night.
yeah,
I think there was a lot, like you said. I feel like after you guys got punched in the mouth initially, from that point on, it just almost like you guys laid down.
yeah,
And
yeah.
what bothers me about it is, like you said, 3 attempts rushing. What is the reason? We need that meme. What's the reason? Why are you going about it this way?
Yeah,
And how do you fix it? Because it ain't coming easy. The answer's not coming easy. This week, we might as well go into picks. This week, you guys are playing the Chiefs.
yeah.
And you're at home. So it's almost like this is a game that not many people and the Chiefs off of back-to-back losses.
And you
So
know what's funny?
this
I
is not a game
still
anyone circles with confidence.
I still think we can win. That's the crazy part about it. That's the crazy part about it. Because honestly, the talent is there. Even with injuries, the talent is there. It's just execution. And my God, don't get me started on the penalties. We lead the
You've been
league in
seeing that a lot.
penalties.
I was gonna say you've been seeing that a
Week
lot.
one. Week one. We talked about this. Week one. And as bad of a game as that was for the Falcons, that was the one thing that I was really like disappointed with. Was the fact that we had so many penalties and they didn't make any sense. Not one of them were like, okay, you know what? All right, okay, I can see why this, that, and the other happened. No, I still don't understand majority of these penalties.
And I will point to it. I think a lot of the big ones that I noticed specifically have come off of injury replacements. What is the safety's name? I'm
Exactly.
sorry, Marcus. It's Marcus
Marcus
Epps.
Epps. Yeah.
Yes, literally, as soon as he came into the game, the next play there was a penalty,
Bro,
and I don't think he looked bad
he didn't.
in the replacement role. So, like you said, man,
And you know what's funny?
young
He was actually over Wallace. They replaced Epps with Wallace, and then now while Wallace is gone, now you got to put Epps again. Like
next man up, next man up. Yep.
Jesus, man. I don't know. I don't know. I think there's still time that they can clean us up.
I will say, I
there's
think this win says a lot more about the Cowboys than it does about the Eagles. Just with all the things that are going on. For 2 weeks in a row, they showed up big.
Mhm.
They got a more manageable game this week than you guys do. But at the end of the day, I feel like I agree. This division race is going to be a two-headed monster.
Yeah,
I think a lot of people, I'm one of them. I think a lot of people came really high on Washington this year. I'm one of them. I'll admit it.
Yeah.
They lost some key pieces in the secondary, and I think you're seeing that week to week.
Yes.
I drafted them in fantasy, and I've been picking up defenses.
Yeah.
Because they've been putting up a lot of points.
Yeah,
literally.
Yeah.
So I don't know, man. I don't know what the answer is. I think I agree. You could even find yourself in a wild card spot if you end up in that worst case scenario. But
yeah,
the part that's unacceptable to me is just you gotta do whatever you can to put yourself in the best position to win. And I feel like at the end of the day, that hasn't been happening. And I'm glad that you're sober enough to admit that.
Yeah, because honestly, I think they gave these 2 games away.
And it was early.
They should be 3-0. It wasn't
down the stretch.
Honestly.
It was early, and you saw the inexperience sort of pull itself through towards the end of these games. Where you might have a little late game push where they score a couple touchdowns to get closer. But what is the mental hurdles that this team is facing? That you think it's all cute, you're wearing the beat the Cowboys shirts, but you come out and you lay down like that. There needs to be something fixed.
Yeah, and they didn't utilize Goddard. They didn't not enough.
Because he was the bright spot. He was doing very well.
I don't understand what the issue is. Again, I think there's enough time to clean this up. But if by week 6 we are still experiencing the same thing, season's over. I'm paying attention to my Celtics, and I'm not even I will still watch these games,
checking out,
but I'm checked out. I will literally be focused on fantasy football.
Mm,
Literally, that's it.
mm,
I'm not I'm not focused on whether they're going to do well or not.
yeah, and it's tough because you hate to have back to back rough games against competitive teams and then face one of the best teams in the league. Like
Bro,
it just
and
doesn't do it for you.
to be honest, at worst they should be 2-1. At worst. At
Hmm.
worst, because
Hmm.
they should have taken that game last week. This week, I can understand you're in Dallas. That's Dak's first game back, who looked phenomenal. Dak, Matt Stafford and Kyler Murray are in the running for MVP for me. To me, though, that's a three-man race right now, and either one of them, I do not have a problem with winning that thing
Don't
because they
sleep
can.
on Herbert making a
And
push.
Herbert
Just
can make a
don't
push too.
sleep.
Yes, I agree. Herbert could. I think, but I think that the storyline will play a factor in this, and I don't think he has a strong enough storyline.
I just want to say it's so
You know what
relevant
I'm
because I swear to God I was this close. You can run it back, please. I encourage you.
saying?
Check out last week's episode. I was this close to pulling the trigger on the Chargers pick.
Yeah, 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 yeah,
I
yeah,
think they're
yeah.
a much better team than a lot of people give them credit for.
Oh, they are. Yeah.
And I think this week is going to be well. We might as well get these picks out the way too, just
Yeah.
because
Yeah.
we're a
Let's
little
do it. Let's
short.
do it.
But with this week, given that they're bouncing back from that game,
Yeah.
first of all, let's quickly touch on that Chiefs Chargers game. It was a great game down the stretch.
It was.
What
Asante
I
Samuels
found,
looks phenomenal.
yep. And what I found amazing about this game is once again, the mystique of Mahomes is there as well.
Yeah.
But this is the first time, and this didn't even happen in the Ravens game. This is the first time where somebody Mahomes,
Yeah.
where you have this fourth
Yeah.
quarter drive,
Yeah.
you
Yeah.
have the balls to go for it on 4th and 9, and you make the
Yeah.
plays happen in order to put yourself in a position to win this game. And
Right.
you gave the ball back with time and still won.
Yeah.
Like that's not if you give anybody those conditions and say this is what's going to happen in the fourth with a minute left, I'm sure everyone would still be like, well, they're going to get a field goal. You know, like
Yeah.
they're
Yeah.
going to
Yeah.
figure
Yeah.
it out.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I'm interested because I think these last two games have been two teams that are good, that are rising to the occasion against the Chiefs. But
Mhm.
I think that there's legitimate chinks in the armor that is being exploited week to week that you can
Mhm.
see,
Mhm.
um, especially defensively. They're not on the level that they need to be, and it requires them to be on a higher level offensively.
Yes.
We'll see what they end up doing with the additions. From what I understand, we got two major additions this week. They're picking up a receiver. I'm trying to remember who it was. I'm the worst.
Josh Gordon.
Josh Gordon,
Yeah.
yes.
I thought you were
Um,
joking.
how can you forget? Yes, with all this talk of athletes
Yeah,
and
yeah, yeah,
drugs,
yeah, yeah,
and
yeah.
that was criminal too. His shit was overblown, with all due respect.
It was.
But
I'm glad he got another opportunity.
for sure. And I don't think that's the answer. I mean, you could point to the Bucks with Antonio Brown, but I don't think that's the answer.
Mm-hmm.
The other addition I wanted to speak of is Sherman going to the Bucks, which
Mm-hmm.
should be interesting to address their issues that have been showing up lately. But
Yeah.
I think this is such a offense heavy, offense first league.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
Mm-hmm.
that even the best teams defensively are out there in 30-point shootouts,
Yes.
and everyone's
Yes.
talking about the key plays and not talking about how we ended up in the shootout in the first place. So I
Yes.
think this week has a chance to do the same thing where, like you said, your Eagles are feisty. This is a run and gun kind of game, and both teams
Yeah.
are making plays defensively to give themselves opportunities to score.
Yeah.
Who knows what could happen? And
Yeah.
like you said, if something crazy happens at this point, I mean, we're already in the midst of the craziness, so
Bro.
it'll make sense.
Yeah.
But I personally have to go, and this is the third week in a row. I think I'm picking against your Eagles. I'm gonna have to go with the Chiefs in this one.
Yeah. um, I'm gonna go with the Chiefs.
The sadness hedge. I love it. That you know what that means. We're 1-0 on sadness hedges in this.
Yeah. I'm gonna choose the Chiefs. I'm gonna choose the Chiefs. Mainly because, well, you know what? It really depends on if Riley McLeod is able to play.
It's a good shout.
I don't know if he's going to play or not, and I think he has the opportunity to play. I thought he was going to play this last game, so I was
Yep.
kind of surprised that he didn't. And it's not like he regressed or anything like that. I just think they just kind of held him back. Um, I think he can go this week, and if he's able to go, that's going to be fun. That's going to be fun. I don't know. I think this has a potential to be a shootout, though. I think it has a
I think that's
potential.
the only way the Eagles stay in it. I also,
I actually
I
think they
think
could,
the
and
big thing,
I think that's how they could win too.
exactly,
Yeah.
the big thing for me is watch Hurts because I've seen it around the league. Everyone
Yeah.
is always talking about, we got the picks next year. Those picks are looking good. I know
Yeah.
you're looking at that Colts pick
Hey
and you're
man, that Colts pick
salivating,
is the only
man.
pick I'm paying attention to.
And you could make a package and you could try to do something, and everyone's talking about Deshaun Watson again.
No, I want
I don't want
Deshaun to
that.
stay far away from Philly.
Hmm.
You understand me?
But
I want him far away from Philly.
but you have to consider. I know you love the guy. I know you love the team,
Mm-hmm.
but with all these things happening, it's very quick to point the finger when, regardless of how the play calling's going. And unfortunately, I think there is a lot of teachable moments in last night game. And I
Yeah.
love what he said, man. I love what he said.
Oh
He said,
yeah, yeah, yeah,
you take a deuce, man. You're not
yeah.
gonna sit there and look at it. You got to flush
Yeah.
it and move forward. And
Keep going.
that's the attitude you need in this league for sure. But
Yeah.
man,
And
there's
you know
hope.
what's
There's
weird?
hope. But
You know what's
there's
weird?
also we also feel like we're minutes from disaster with this team too.
Oh yeah, oh yeah, yeah, like right there. But the weird thing is, if if we were in this position with Wentz and Peterson, I would have already been freaking out. I am surprisingly calm with Hurts and Sirianni, and I
Mm.
shouldn't be.
I think it's because of your defense. I think it's because of your
It's the
defense.
defense,
Yeah.
but I also like, and people are getting on Hurts right now, like rightfully so. I understand why, but I don't think that they should be getting on him as much as they are. Technically speaking, this is like his what, seventh or eighth game
This is pro,
starting.
yeah. Yeah.
What are we doing? Like, what are we doing? This is second year in the league.
It's what we always do. Everyone's pointing at Mac
Every
Jones too.
bro, everybody overreacts so fast. That's the one thing I hate about the way we consume sports at this point. Like, it's almost like you expect guys to come into the league. It doesn't matter if you're talking about the NFL or NBA. It's almost as if people expect guys to come into these leagues playing at a Hall of Fame level already. Like, it doesn't work like that.
And
It,
consistently.
and
Yeah.
consistently, like the Patrick Mahomes of the world, that's rare. That does not happen. You know what I'm saying? Like
Mm-hmm.
it's not something that you can just point to and say, okay, this is the standard for quarterbacks in the league. Come on, this is his first time in his career. He's had two back-to-back losses,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Yep.
Like, what are we talking about here?
And like you said, both in games where there's defensive plays being made. It's not
Yeah,
like you're out of this game. So
yeah,
I
yeah,
agree.
yeah,
100% I agree. It's not the time to hit the panic button yet, but you can also see why if somebody says, when it comes down to it, you're still questionable at that position. You could
yeah,
see how they react to that way after last week's game. So
yeah, yeah. Most
especially
definitely.
because of how the Cowboys defense has been looked at. But man, time
Yeah,
will tell. I feel like they might want to consider leaving Micah Parsons as a DE. I think
bro.
he's doing crazy.
I think they have an issue on their hands.
Hmm.
Yeah, I think you have a big issue on your hands. Uh, Demarcus Lawrence ain't getting that spot back.
I was gonna say, man, I would love to see him
He's
in
the
a sort
odd
of a.
man out.
I was gonna say I would love to see him at some point. I really feel like he could be on that. I know this is a different position, but I feel like he's a Ray Lewis type talent. Like I feel like he can
Right,
change, he can change this organization in big ways,
right,
and
right.
and I think we already have seen the ways in which the defense has changed since he's
Mm-hmm.
got there. So
Mm-hmm.
don't poo poo on the Eagles because the Cowboys beat them. Because hey,
That's
I don't want Stephen A.
bro.
Smith to hear it, but there's a big chance that this team is a lot better than a lot of people give them credit for.
Yeah, yeah, and that's the thing. Also, the NFC East. We talked about this last week.
Least, sorry.
Yeah. Every single game, it doesn't matter what the matchup is. Whenever it's a game between those two teams in that division, those games are always weird. They
Yep,
can go
Washington and
either way.
Giants the other week. Stupid.
It made no sense, right? It made no sense. So like that's why I'm not really like in a panic mode,
Mhm,
because that's just how those games go. It's weird, but that's how those games go.
for sure.
It could be landslide, it could be a close one. those games are always on an extreme. So, you know, we'll see how the team comes along over the course of the season. But I'm not in a position to panic right now.
I
I'm
hear
just
you and I
not.
respect it. Yep.
Yeah.
So since we're going full homer, I think
Yeah.
this one we won't be on for too long. But my Ravens in Detroit had some issues, man.
Yeah.
I'm gonna say I think something's troubling is going on, and I've seen it before with this team. I've
Mm-hmm.
seen it last year. I
Mm-hmm.
think they have a problem where they play to the level of their opposition. I think
All the time.
especially on the defensive end,
Yes.
which bothers me the most because if there's anything that this organization is relied upon, it's his
Mm-hmm.
defense.
Yep.
So
That's their identity.
I I just really hope moving forward that we don't end up in situations like that because there's no reason why we had to kick a 66-yard field goal in order to win the game
Like who does that?
in a game where we was up by 10. Like literally,
Yeah.
don't get me wrong, I was losing my mind. That was awesome. Like I
Yeah.
love Tucker. I've had so many moments just like that where I'm like, this makes no sense, but
Yeah.
Tucker won it for us, you know.
Yeah.
But
Could you imagine if you had him in fantasy?
oh man, it's amazing. Literally, player of the week. You deserve it. You deserve the
Yeah.
win.
Yeah.
You deserve the win if you're getting field goals like that. But
Yeah.
literally, man, all I gotta say is I hope that moving forward, this isn't a consistent issue. It's only week 4, you know.
Mm-hmm.
The seasons are still young. But with the matchup we got this week, I don't think we got much room to be playing around with this Broncos team.
Yeah, man.
I'm gonna say the fact that it was that close and the fact that there was Lions players walking off the field, like feeling like they got robbed, like
Yeah.
that's a problem when you're
Yeah.
facing a team like the Broncos the next week.
Yeah. And you got
So
Bateman coming in
yeah,
from that.
which I like. Yep.
Yeah.
But what are you thinking about this game? How do you feel like this game plays out?
Y'all playing home?
No, on the road.
The Broncos are hot, bro.
I know
It's so weird. Like this is weird. Like this season, like is young, but it makes no sense.
for
Like this
sure.
season makes no sense to me. I'm choosing the Broncos.
Mm, I like it. I like it. I'm definitely going to be going with the Ravens here. I think
Yeah.
this is going to be the week where I think circle this one down too.
Yeah. Yeah.
I think I think my boy Hollywood Brown is going to go off this week. And
I
that's hard.
was
That's hard to
thinking.
imagine. That's hard to imagine against this defense.
Yeah.
But with Bateman back in the lineup, I think a lot of attention is going to be around the field.
Yeah.
And I think we get the running game started early. That's our best shot against
Yeah.
this team. We need to get the running game started early. But watch out for Hollywood Brown this week. I'm going with the Ravens. I think this is the week where 2-3-0 teams are going to be really tested for the first time, and we're going to get to see
Mm-hmm.
where they're really at. I do not think that this is going to be a high scoring game. I would
Yeah.
say somewhere in the 24-20 range.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm going my Ravens in this one.
Yeah. I feel you in that.
It's going to be a fun one, though. It's going to be a
It's gonna
fun
be
one
that's gonna be a good game. That's
for
gonna be a real
sure.
good game. Yeah.
So we got let's go to the ones the one that's taking place tonight. Got
Yeah.
Jags Bengals in Cincinnati. What did you think about those games last week? You want to start there?
Jags Bengals is opening this week up. Bro.
Who circled that game? Two
Like
number one picks, man. It's
I'm
the
not
last two number one picks.
I'm not watching this game.
I
This.
got better things to do on a Thursday night.
Yeah, I'm not watching this. Bengals are gonna win this. There's like because I've been wrong with Cincinnati. I've been wrong with them, and I'm okay with saying that. I just don't trust the offensive line. That's what's been like holding me back from being able to like fully embrace them. But you're going against Jacksonville.
And I think Mixon has a lot to say about that just because
Yeah,
he's one of the leading rushers this year. So
yeah,
how bad is that line really? You know, that's the question.
yeah,
Because
yeah.
I feel like since week 1, that has always been the talking point because of the way last year ended.
Mm-hmm.
But I like them this week. I think they have a really good chance to go 3-1, and in a division like this, they're gonna be leading. I
Yeah.
think what really bugged me out is we had this moment before the season started where we're like, this is finally the year with the Steelers. And I think that
Yeah.
this game felt like what we thought it was going to be week one.
Right.
Where
Right.
it came out against the Bills and did something nobody thought they could have done. I think against the Bengals, they looked like crap.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
after a game where Roethlisberger was already disgruntled with the way he was treated and handled the week before against the Raiders,
Yeah.
it's just tough to see, man. I think at this point with all the injuries too, like they have some injuries on the offensive side of the ball specifically. Um, their identity is gone, and that's
Yeah.
crazy. That's
Yeah.
crazy to imagine. Their
Yeah.
identity is gone.
Yeah.
Najee Harris is a really big bright spot that we keep pointing to, but
Yes. But Watt's been out too.
mhm.
So like it's one of those things that like, man, uh I feel bad for Steelers fans. I'll just say it
For
like that.
sure.
I feel
Because their
bad.
defense, even with him out, they're still keeping him in the game, and their
Yeah.
offense is atrocious.
Yeah.
Even with the occasional bright spot, he's
Yeah.
not getting more than 60 yards a game this season. I don't think,
Right. Right. Right.
which is crazy. You should think somebody with the talent. I love to see that they're getting him in the passing game a little bit more.
Mm-hmm.
He did a really good job. He had over 100 total. But man,
Let me
I
ask
just
you
hate to
something.
see it. I just hate to see it. Yep.
Do you think it's time that Pittsburgh makes a call for Cam?
Killer come. Oh man. I don't see why it would hurt. I don't
Yeah.
see why it would hurt. I think man, I
That
don't even
offense
think
would
if
be a little dangerous
that's what
though.
they're gonna want though. I
I
don't think that's what
know.
they're gonna want, but I agree. It will be more dangerous, but at the same time, I think this is gonna sound silly, but I feel like that'll open them up to even more injuries. Like I feel like they're gonna be playing a way that their line can't play even now, and it's
I
gonna
see
be
that.
even more exasperated. So it's
Yeah.
crazy, man.
Yeah.
I do think watch this offensive line because that's the
Yeah.
problem for this team. And more so than any of the injuries, more so than
Mm-hmm.
anything. That's where the problems start with this team.
Yeah, man.
Which I like. I'm loving to
Yeah.
see it.
Oh, I know you are.
The
I know.
Bengals are our biggest problem right now. You love to see it. Titans, Jets. We don't even got to talk about this. I'm going
Nope.
Titans.
Yeah.
I'm going
Both Titans.
Titans.
Yeah.
Yeah. Lions, Bears. A little scrappy divisional game.
Lions will win that, man. Bears ain't
Yeah,
winning that.
yeah,
They don't even
yeah.
know who the starting quarterback is this week. So yeah, I'm
Man,
going
I'm just
Lions.
gonna say
Nagy should be locked up.
he should be knocked out. And this is the reason. And this is the reason because we've been talking about this every single week, and I'm tired of it.
Yeah.
Frankly,
Yeah.
I'm tired of it
Yeah.
because I called it. Why would he be ready when you're calling him if he wasn't ready in your single play scenarios?
I like it, and you can see like it's starting to feel deliberate. It's
And
starting
you
to
know why it
feel like
is?
yeah,
You know why it is? And I know this hits home for you specifically. I need to bring this up.
yeah,
When you're telling the media 2 days out from the game that we don't know who the starting quarterback's going to be,
mm-hmm.
it's not even we're not sure if it's Andy or Fields. They're bringing Foles into this shit.
Yeah.
We bringing Foles into this shit, man. Like just criminal promotional malpractice. Like
greatest backup QB in the NFL history.
Oh my God! Don't do it to him. Don't do it to him. Don't do it to him. He'll come out first game, throw 4 touchdowns, no interceptions.
I'm telling you right now, if Foles goes out there, which I think at this point, what do you like? What do you have to lose? Go ahead and throw him out there because Andy Dalton is still hurt. Fields not going to do anything. He's not ready. He's not ready because you haven't prepared him. Like, what do you have to lose? I think at this point, Nick Foles is probably the safest bet.
But what I don't understand is why are you still trying to win?
Oh, I don't know. I don't know why. And I'm to be completely honest, like if I'm Khalil Mack, I'm out. I'm forcing my way out at this point because he's given that team what 3 years?
Everything.
Like 2 or 3 years, right?
Every bright spot for this team is defensively, and it starts with him.
Yeah. At this point, just force your way out. They're not trying to win.
I agree.
They're just trying to get people in the stands, and that's it.
And that's what I don't get either. Is you're not trying to win, but you're not trying to get better either. You're
Not
not
at all.
fixing the problem.
not at all. You can see
Insane.
that they're legit not trying to win the game.
Insane.
It does. So yeah, I'm going the Lions on this because
And
I
if
actually
that's what you're
trust the Lions
doing,
with this
dude,
one.
if that's what I'm sorry to cut you off. If that's what
No,
you're doing,
good.
dude, at least pull the Trevor Lawrence. Like take the reins off him. Let him throw 3 interceptions. Let him throw 4 interceptions. Because
Let Sam go.
at least you're gonna see those plays where he's doing so, where he's learning.
Yeah.
You don't see that at all, and it feels like, and this is gonna sound messed up, but it feels like every time they put him in a position to fail, and he's throwing bad passes and he's moving around, everyone as soon as the play stops is just grilling him. Like
Yeah.
they're looking at him like, dude, really? And it's
Yeah.
like,
Yeah.
what's wrong with you? Like, what did you expect?
You know how I think we discussed this already, but the prime reason that I had this notion that they're just not trying to win games, they're just trying to pass time, is that they brought in Jason Peters.
Oh man.
Because you don't do that. You don't like that makes no sense. You don't do that.
And this is all hitting home. This means something to you. You know what
Yeah.
I'm saying?
Yes, yes. Now, granted, I was happy Peters didn't come back, but you gave him a job, and then what? I think he got hurt the first game in,
Mm-hmm.
which is predictable. That's been what's been
Yeah.
happening the last 3 years.
Mm-hmm.
So, what did you think was going to happen? Like, it's not like he was going to come back and then all of a sudden just be like Jason Peters, like prime Jason Peters. That's not going to happen.
I'm just gonna say, I promise you, this is the last time we talk about these fucking Bears. I
Oh yeah,
swear.
I'm done.
Because
I'm done.
we've done this every week. Like literally
Mhm.
every week we come on here and we're like, this is a shit show. Like this is worse than
Yeah,
Texans. This is worse than
yeah.
Jaguars. Not because they're a worse team, but because of the idiocy.
Ineptitude.
100% both. All right. I love it. We're fired up today, dude.
Yeah.
I like it. I like it. I like it. This is a sneaky good game between two teams that have terrible records right now.
Okay.
We got the Colts going up in Miami against the Dolphins. What do you think about this one?
Jesus. I think the Colts could actually win this one.
Who would have thought? Who would have thought?
Like, I think they could. Will they? Is a different question.
Will they do what they need to do? Taylor needs 20 carries.
Yeah.
20 carries a game.
Yeah.
There's no excuse. Like
Yeah.
we said before with the Eagles. There's no excuse. And don't get me wrong. I personally think if Taylor was in the NFC East, that rankings will be thrown completely out the window.
It would be. It would be.
I just really think that this team, especially defensively, has not looked good,
At all.
which blows my mind because that's what we came into this league
They got
relying on.
dogs.
Yeah, literally. So I
Yeah.
don't know what the problem is there. I really don't understand it. It may be issue where they're tired of pointing the finger at each other, where it's like, well, you needed to score for us. Well, you needed to do something for us too. I don't know if it's that. I don't know what it is. I don't know what's gonna fix it. Um, I'm going with the Dolphins in this one because even without even without all the without your main quarterback, without
Yeah.
all the drama, I still don't believe that the Colts are gonna figure this out.
I'm tempted to lean Miami. I am like it should be Indianapolis, like
100%.
without question. Like this shouldn't even be. This should be like the Jets game. Yeah, one more. Just yeah.
Mhm. Yeah,
I think I'm gonna go with you on that. I'm gonna take Miami. I'm gonna take them.
I like that.
Brissett is gonna have some fun out there.
Yeah, and it, man, all I gotta say is stop talking shit about these backup QBs because at the end of the day, once they
Yeah.
start doing things that are good, once good
Yeah.
things start happening,
Yeah.
everyone's like, well, do we even need? Do we even need? So it really is a team effort. A lot more. I feel like everyone so much weight is put on the quarterback position, where everyone is saying if you got a bad quarterback, it doesn't matter. If you have a bad quarterback, you're done.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's so much more than that. I think it really falls on a lot of things working right.
Yeah.
And I think for both teams, if there's any team out of these two that I think has a potential to be much better, it's the Colts. But they have looked
Will they though?
nowhere near as ready as the Dolphins have,
Bro,
and they haven't looked.
I'm slick starting to think this is a. I'm superstitious. Okay, I'm slick starting to think this is on Wentz. Like
It makes sense.
it's hard to argue that it's not.
Hmm.
it's it's really difficult because it did the Colts not look like phenomenal last year?
Exactly.
Old man Rivers, old man Rivers, and they look like
Emphasize that high school
stupid.
football coach Rivers. Like,
Yeah, they look stupid good last year. Now all of
mhm.
a sudden they're one of the worst teams in the league.
Mm,
How?
mm.
How?
It's because I don't got Nick Foles on the bench, man. That's the problem.
Bro, I'm telling you.
Trade for Foles right now.
They Foles is so against going there. He's so against going there. I think he will come back to Philly before he goes there. And I don't think he wants to come back to Philly. I think he's done with Philly.
Oh man,
Yeah. Mm.
this is another one of those games that got a little too much of our time.
Yeah,
Next up,
yeah.
Browns versus Vikings. I think this is a sneaky good game. I think we've
Yes.
talked a lot of shit about Kirk Cousins. I will eat shit. I think this
Yeah.
happens every year too.
Yeah.
I think he's always going to have his moments that's going to lead people like us
Mm-hmm.
to talk about him, but
Mm-hmm.
I think he's looked really good, man. Justin Jefferson is just rolling. Thielen's
He
caught a
is.
touchdown in every game.
Yeah.
I'm really interested to see if the Browns defense could step up. You see him step up in flashes. You see it happen, but they haven't had that statement game yet, in my opinion, where they're making things happen from the get. Like even that Texans game kind of got out of
Yeah.
hand in the beginning.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
I think there's the potential for that to happen, but I'm going with the upset, man. I think this team is feisty. I think they did a
Bro.
very good job against Seattle and really wore out that defense.
Mm-hmm.
I think Madison is one of the best backup RBs in this league.
Yes.
It's crazy to consider when Cook is your main option. They're going to be
Yes.
set. I think he might even be able to slot in as RB1 whenever Cook is gone for whatever reason.
I don't think Cook is going to be able to go this week.
Yeah, me neither.
So is it weird that I actually believe this could be an upset
No, not at all.
because their rookie, and I still don't know how to pronounce his name. We talked about this when we talked about our rookie of the year picks.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, JOK.
Owusu
I'm just
Karamoa. Yes, sir.
yeah. I love him.
He's really good.
I love him. I think I think it's potential that they could win this game, but I'm gonna go safe because I know in picks I'm ahead of you a little bit. I'm gonna go Minnesota.
1 point. 1 point. I was gonna wait to the end to get there. We'll,
Yeah,
we'll get there. We'll get there.
yeah. I'm going Minnesota in this one. I'm gonna play it safe.
Mm-hmm.
Then watch it be Cleveland wins.
Literally. This is another one of those quick hitters. Washington football team, Atlanta Falcons in Atlanta.
Jesus,
Who's making these games?
I
Because I
don't
just want to
know.
say, Washington is in every position to have started this season with a good record,
Yeah,
and they're just getting shitted on. I kind of want to pick the
yeah.
Falcons here, but I can't. I'm going with the Washington football team.
I'm going Washington only because Atlanta's offensive line.
Yep.
If Atlanta's offensive line was just a little bit better, I would actually choose Atlanta to win this game.
Hmm.
That's how much I don't really trust Washington's secondary. But I don't think that I think we're going to see a similar game with this one as we did with the Falcons Eagles. I think it's going to be very similar to that.
Hmm.
I think Chase Young is going to come out and hunt. Matt Ryan is going to be hurt at this game.
I was gonna say it's gonna look like chicken run out there.
Yeah. It's not going to be season ending injury. I just think he's just going to be like he's going to take a nice ice bath when this game is over because I think he's going to be running from Chase Young the entire day.
For sure.
So I think he'll be pissed with his offensive line at that point. This might actually force
and you can't
this.
blame him.
This might force him to leave Atlanta.
And where is he gonna go, dude? That's the thing.
I would take him.
Everyone's pointing at Brady, man. Everyone's pointing at Brady. Look what he's doing.
I,
I
I,
think
would-
Matt
I would
Ryan's
take him in a
past it.
heartbeat.
I think he's past it, dude. I think
Oh,
Matt
he's
Ryan's
past it. I would take, but as a backup,
for sure. I feel you on that.
I take him with Flacco real quick.
Yeah, for sure. I'm a
Yeah.
big Ravens guy, and I believe that too.
Yeah. So yeah, I'm a choose Washington with this one.
Gotcha. Next up, Texans at Buffalo. I
Oh
think
my
this is
god,
another one of those simple
we
ones.
don't have to. Yeah,
Can
I
we
got
talk about Fantasy Allen finally coming through
bro,
for you though? Can we talk
bro,
about that?
bro. You know what? And you know what's funny? In the league that I sent you because I had this big trade last week. I did end up getting Mahomes, and
I
guess
don't
what
know how
happened?
you did that. Yeah,
Oh, I
yeah.
flipped him.
He goes off.
I flipped Devontae Adams and Cooper Cup, and now I'm trying to flip Mahomes for for them back. Either them or Stephon Diggs and Miles Sanders.
Mhm.
So yeah, Josh Allen did come in big for me in the other leagues for sure. But I am on the bench for this other league. So
Uh-oh.
this is going to be if you have Josh Allen in fantasy, I got him on four or five different teams. Bro, this is gonna be a fun week.
If you need a flex RB, if you got stiffed and you couldn't get Chuba Hubbard like this guy right here, make sure that you pick up Zach Moss this week because he's gonna go off.
Oh
Mark
yeah,
my words.
easy. That's why I might actually keep Singletary in as well because I think he's gonna go off.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Singletary, I love Singletary, dude. He goes out there and just runs in slow motion, and nobody
yeah.
can stop him.
No one, and it's so weird.
He's a throwback, bro. I say it all the time. Like that dude's
Yeah,
eyes are insane
yeah,
because he is so slow out there. But we're both
yeah.
going Bills here, right?
Oh yeah, yeah. No question about that. And if they somehow lose this game, oh my god. Oh Jesus Christ.
Literally.
Oh
And
my god,
this next one is on that same level as far as if the Saints somehow lose against the Giants this week.
bro. Oh my god.
Jameis has gone back to King Crab Jameis. He is not looking good, man. He's
I need
not.
LASIK James to come back.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
need him to come back because I need to feel vindicated,
For that top 10. I'll never
bro.
forget that.
Yeah, I will live on. I will go down with it. If I'm wrong, I'm wrong. I think he has potential to be top 10 though. He has a
Mhm,
potential. Michael Thomas is coming back week 7. Like it just it's there. It's
mhm.
there to happen. I just need him to do it. I'm
He's
on that.
hilarious though. I don't know
I
if you
love him.
saw this. There was a video. Check it out. I'll send it to you if I can. There was a video this week where they were in a huddle, and,
Oh yeah,
and he's hyping him up. He's like, "Look at the man next to you." And he's like, hilarious, dude. He's hilarious.
love Jameis, bro. I love him. Love him.
Yeah, I'm going Saints here too. I think he bounces back. He's been having some troubles, but this is the team to do it against, man.
Oh
They're
yeah.
gonna beat themselves against you, and it's gonna keep happening every week. By
Oh
the
yeah.
way, the biggest surprise out of all that I mentioned earlier about this NFC least running back situation, Barkley is in fourth. Barkley has the least amount of yards out of everyone, and we get that's an injury issue as well. But
Offensive
even
line
when
too.
he's playing, you see it.
Yeah.
You see
Yeah.
that he's hurting, and they're not doing anything to help him.
Yeah. Yeah. I like I commend him for keeping like not complaining. He's got to force himself out. He's got to force
Mhm.
himself. I don't know where he would go. I think any team would take him, honestly.
For sure.
But he's got to force himself out.
I
Now,
think there's no way they let him go though.
there's
No
no way
way.
they let him go. But just think about this real quick. What if, like the Marvel series of What If? What if he went to LA?
That would be insane.
Bro,
Insane.
there
That's
is
a
no stopping them from the Super Bowl.
that's a Pro Bowl Madden team right there.
It is. It's a cheat code.
Literally, literally. And we'll get to them in a few too, but
Yeah,
I think they're scary good, man. I
they
think I
are.
think they're even better than we thought they were last week, and we were singing
Oh
them
yeah,
praises in this matchup. We both picked them correctly, by the way. Just
yeah,
gotta say,
yeah.
man, you want to say whatever you want about these other places that are making picks, dude. We every single week for 3 weeks in a row, we've come in at over 500, both of us, not
Bro,
one of us, dude.
honestly, you should go ahead and start making your bets.
Yep, yeah. I'm lucky I live in New York. Shit, I'm gonna have
I,
to get an overseas account, bro. I'm gonna have to get something going because I can't bet on sports here, which is the dumbest thing ever. But
yeah, yeah, yeah.
all right, next up, this game is really good. This I know I said that the Cowboys got a better chance than y'all this week of winning. This game is good. We got the Panthers in Dallas, AT&T Stadium, Part 2.
Yeah.
Man, I think the Panthers are a team. I mean, they look great against the Texans, but who doesn't at this point?
Yeah.
I think the Panthers are a team that can really take teams out of their game.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's the Texans, you see that, but they didn't have a chance. Like there was no, and they put them away early, and that's
Yeah.
what you really want to see from a team that you expect it to be competitive, man.
Yeah.
I think they had an easy schedule so far, but I think this is their nut up or shut up moment. Their first big game this season. I
Yeah.
think with the way the Cowboys have been looking, this is a lot closer than it should be.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going with the Panthers in this one. I think our issues with Sam Darnold don't really matter too much.
Oh yeah.
They've been doing a very good job at managing the situation, but also choosing the right situation for him, if that makes sense.
Yeah. Yeah.
I feel like he's not looking like a 100 QBR quarterback, but
Yeah.
he's making the right plays and making big plays too,
Yeah.
which you love
Yeah.
to see.
Yeah.
DJ Moore's going off, by the way. I called that incorrectly entirely. I was jacking go get Robbie Anderson. Man,
Bro,
DJ Moore has been killing it.
I am so close to dropping Anderson. So close.
I feel you.
I'm just banking on the fact that it's very possible with McCaffrey going out for a couple of weeks that they're gonna have to rely on different weapons, and Anderson will have this resurrection of a season. I'm hoping,
Mm.
but I'm to be completely honest, I'm keeping him on the bench.
I
I'm
was gonna
right
say
now.
keep your blindfold on for now.
Yeah, right now I don't trust him.
And you got no reason to, dude.
Yeah,
The
yeah.
saddest part though is I don't I don't trust the Cowboys either. Like I
Oh,
wanna
I
I
trust
wanna
Dak.
pick the Cowboys because
I trust Dak. Okay,
yeah,
that's it.
yeah, that makes sense. That makes
That's it.
sense.
I don't trust
I don't
anyone
know if
else.
you have ever got this, dude, but I swear sometimes we're talking here and we always talk about Dak, and I'm like, dude, you kind of look like him a little bit. I'm like, is there something going on? Like, is this your cousin, bro? Like, and you don't want to
Man,
talk about
hey,
it?
look, let me find out he's my cousin. Let me find out.
Anyway.
I know. I think I love Dak, man. I wanted him in Philly. I think I told you that before. I wanted him in
Mhm.
Philly when he was getting drafted, but like easily comeback player of the year. Easily.
And it's week 4.
It's week 4. There's no like I don't see anyone else. Like Saquon should be running away with it too. Like he should
Mhm.
be right there in the running for it, but it's not happening. Dak is comeback player of the year. The way that this dude is playing is like it makes no sense because he had nothing coming into the season.
Literally.
Training camp, preseason, it was literally just week 1 start.
Mhm.
Makes
But
no
it's so
sense.
crazy though, because before he went down, we saw this too. And it
Yeah,
was still sort of looked as like an apparition. Like, nah,
yeah,
it's gonna even out at some point. And I
yeah.
feel like every week a lot of people sort of bank on that.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm not picking the Panthers. Oh, I gave away my pick, but I ain't picking the Panthers because of the Cowboys issues. I'm picking the Panthers because I think they're really freaking good. But
Yeah,
I
yeah.
really feel like this could be a really competitive game. I think if you let my issue is the moment that Sam Darnold's mistakes become an issue, the moment that you see the turnovers, the moment that you see the game management problems, it's going to be so easy for everyone to hate him again and
Mm-hmm.
just blame him for everything.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I think that if this team goes behind 14 points early, which I don't see happening just because of the defense, but if the Panthers go down big early, it's
Mm-hmm.
over. Like
Oh
I
yeah,
think any
yeah.
team that plays this Dallas team, if you go down big early, it's over.
We saw
And the
that.
fact that you literally the fact sorry, I didn't mean to do it, but
Yeah.
the fact that that Chargers game was such a low scoring game seems so weird to me.
Yeah, yeah,
Um,
yeah.
I don't know what that means. But I'm interested to see who comes up defensively with the bigger plays in this one because ultimately
Mm-hmm.
that's going to matter the most. I think the offensive potential for the Cowboys are 10 times higher than the Panthers.
Yeah.
But
Should be.
it's just about who can make those plays, and I trust the Panthers defense way more than I trust the Cowboys.
Yeah. And it's weird. This feels like poison. I'm actually choosing Dallas.
Mm, that's two sadness hedges today, bro. That's
Bro, I'm hurting even uttering those words, I'm choosing Dallas in this one.
Mm.
I think it's very possible that Carolina could upset them. I wholeheartedly believe that. And if they do, to me that would tell you that the Philly Dallas game was more about what Philly just didn't execute on versus what
Mm-hmm.
Dallas actually did. You know what I'm saying? So, and that's how I feel. I truly believe that was more so the reason why they even lost the game. But I think that I'm going with Dallas on this one. I would not be surprised if Carolina wins.
And I'm gonna say right now,
Would not be surprised.
when Carolina wins, the story of the season is gonna be their defense. Because
Yes. Yes.
last season, nobody thought, even then, with you see the flashes, but nobody
Mm-hmm.
thought they could be this good.
Yeah. Yeah.
And to see they're one right now. Am I wrong about that? They're number one in the league.
I I don't
So
know that maybe yeah they are.
yeah, I think
Wow.
so.
Wow.
Yep. So
Yeah, man.
I'm telling you, man, especially like if they could keep, you know what? I'm going bold. I don't do this every week.
Yeah.
I'm going bold.
Yeah.
I think the Panthers keep them under 21 points.
I would love to see that. I would love to be wrong about this game. I would love to be wrong about this game and the Philly Kansas City. I would love to be wrong about both games. But
All right.
yeah, I'm choosing Dallas in this one.
Next up, this is another scrappy, fun one, man. Divisional game. Seahawks at the 49ers. Angry Seahawks team after what happened last
Yeah.
week. What do you think?
Yeah. Seattle's winning this one.
I agree. I don't know what the hell happened to their run game last week.
I don't either. I don't
Just
either.
disappeared. Carson just
Yeah.
disappeared.
Yeah. I trust Russell Wilson. I don't trust Garoppolo. I like
How can you, dude?
it is like he's been looking good this year. He's been looking good, but he's not looking like the guy that they just paid what over $100 million to. Nah, he ain't looking like that.
I
So
couldn't believe that then.
yeah, it threw me off with that one. Yeah, but yeah, Russell Wilson. You got Russell Wilson, Tyler Lockett. I don't. I feel like I haven't heard Metcalf's name this season.
Yeah. He had some plays this last week, but I agree.
Yeah,
He needs to step up for sure.
yeah. So I think we'll see that with this guy.
I like it. In a
Yeah.
tough matchup.
Yes.
I'm also going with the Seahawks. I would say this has ugliest game of the week potential for me. Like I think this
Yeah.
could be one of those stupid Giants Washington games where we were just like both of y'all tried to throw it away many times. And I think that's because both of them are feisty on defense. So
Yeah.
I think this could be one of two ways: either a really competitive defensive game,
Hmm.
or Seahawks run away with it.
Yeah.
All right, get this in. Next up, Cardinals versus Rams, dude. This is the NFC West showcase. I love the Rams, man. I know this is your pick. I just been love watching them play. I think the
Yeah.
craziest thing is they've been able to get huge plays every week. Like they can't stop it, and
Yeah.
and and it almost always feels like it's exactly when they need it to. Like
Yeah.
you'll feel the game sort of starting to slip back in the other direction, and then
Hmm.
they'll get just a 70-yarder to your boy. I know you was proud, man, to
Bro.
Deshaun Jackson going
Bro,
crazy.
look, and he's done that with every team he's been on.
Mm-hmm.
Every single team. I'm happy. They're playing with great pace.
Yeah,
Excellent
fun to
pace.
watch.
Yeah, that's a fun team, man. I'm still thinking it's very possible they go to the Super Bowl. I want to see Deshaun win one before he hangs it up. I like that's a heart pick, but
Mm-hmm.
also just based on how Matt Stafford has looked.
Mm-hmm.
Stafford and Cup just look ridiculous.
Yeah,
If Cup
I
stays
agree.
healthy the rest of the season, they're gonna be a hard team to beat.
I agree,
That's a
man.
tough team, man.
Do you think it's possible that he ends up in the 1,500 range this season? I think he can.
It's not hard to to actually believe that.
Yeah,
It's not hard to believe it. They're playing like this. It almost feels like I'm sitting here watching Madden, bro.
literally.
It legit feels like a Madden simulation because there's no way that should be happening.
Literally.
There's
And
no
and
way.
it's so and it's crazy too because it doesn't feel like it should be happening that often. Like
Yeah.
you'll see even Cooper Cup is breaking tackles like on a regular basis. Like what? Like it doesn't make sense.
Bro, and we're not even talking about Aaron Donald.
I mean,
Like,
we don't. It's sad because you don't have to because of how good he is. Like it's just
yeah,
expected. But man,
yeah,
like you said, really anchoring that front seven.
yeah, man. Yeah, I'm gonna go with them.
Man, I would say right now, just based off the way things are going and the way things have gone, I think if the Rams never win it, I think that's going to be one of the saddest stories. Like looking back on
Bro.
this era, like if the Rams never win it,
And they went to the Super Bowl.
literally, like an all-time great twice, literally twice. Because I'm pretty
Oh,
sure they're gonna end up somewhere in the Super Bowl the next 2 years for
oh,
sure.
yeah, yeah, yeah. There's no I don't have any questions about it. Again, like I told you a couple weeks ago, if they had Matt Stafford when they went to the Super Bowl a couple years ago, they beat New England easily.
Mm-hmm.
Easily. The only reason why
Yep.
they couldn't even get anything on the board really is because of Goff. So yeah,
Mm. So you going with the Rams here?
I'm going with the Rams here, man.
I talked all that shit and I'm going with the Cardinals and I'm gonna tell you why. I'm gonna tell you why. I talked all that shit. I think this is gonna be the first time that they play a pass rush that's ready. I think
Yeah,
the Bucks pass rush was not ready.
yeah, yeah.
I think I'm really interested to see what's gonna happen when the rushes start getting to them and they're forced to run the ball and they're not in a position where they're passing off of runs. They're gonna have to run and then pass in this game, and I think that's gonna be the problem. But down the stretch, I think this is gonna be a fun game,
Bro,
probably my best game of the week.
this I was about to say this is gonna be game of the week for me.
Literally, I
Yeah.
think offensively, I think both QBs are gonna go off. I'm really liking this matchup, but I think the defensive plays, while both can make it happen, I think the Cardinals come up big in this one.
I would not be shocked either.
But all right, Steelers Packers. This one should be simple.
Yeah.
What do you? I'm gonna start with this. Were you surprised by the Niners game? Because I know you picked the Packers. I picked
Mm-hmm.
the Niners. Were you
Mm-hmm.
surprised by how well they looked?
How well the Packers look?
Yeah.
Somewhat. Somewhat. Um, but I also kind of like figured going into week 3, Rodgers had something to say.
Mm-hmm.
Rodgers has something to say, and I don't think that stops. I think that's going to continue, bro.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's going that like ah, Devontae Adams has been looking good. I don't know, man. I don't know. Can you possibly see Aaron Rodgers getting back to the MVP conversation this year based off of what we've seen so far?
I think you could never count him out.
Yeah.
I really did not like to see that hit on Adams. I think
Yo, that was the weird. That was wild. Like,
what I don't understand is how they let him go back out there. Because yeah,
I
you
don't
can say
either.
whatever you want. You can say I'm different, but that's
It's
that's
irresponsible.
literally. I was gonna say it's not even. That's beyond irresponsible.
Yeah.
It's criminal because at this
Yeah.
point, you can't. Sorry about that. At this point, you literally can't. Like, you cannot say. I completely got thrown off by that. What were we talking about? Just
Devontae Adams.
yes, like you cannot say at this point that you were unaware. Like
Yeah.
he was out.
Yes. Yes. And you could see just like in real time speed, like that looked. Oh my God, that looked like one. I don't see how they didn't crack down on that.
Literally. I'm gonna make a quick parallel real quick. I know that
Yeah, go ahead,
we
please.
didn't get to talk about it, but there was some great fights in the UFC this weekend. And to quickly
Yes.
touch on the main event,
Yes.
there's a lot of situations where I feel personally
Mhm.
in leagues like the NFL, like MMA, boxing, where head trauma is a factor.
Mhm.
I think these officials really need to step up and do their job. And what I mean by that is there was multiple times in the UFC main event where Ortega was getting bombed on, dude, just
Right.
bombed
Right.
on,
Right.
and he's able to move, he's able to keep feisty, so they allow it to continue.
Mhm.
When in reality, if you want any sort of longevity in this sport, you need to save these athletes for themselves because they're not going to tell you they're not fine.
Yeah.
They're gonna want to go back out there. They're gonna want to do those things to keep playing. And it's up
Yeah.
to you as management, I think, and as the officials of the league to not allow shit like that to happen. Like, I don't care what your
Yeah.
coaching staff says. You shouldn't be allowed to come back into the game
Bro,
after a hit like
I
that.
don't I don't trust team doctors.
Mm-hmm.
I don't, because your goal, your number one
It's the
priority is to,
first word, team.
yeah, yeah, team. Your
Mm-hmm.
number one priority is to get them back on that field. It's not about whether they're actually healthy or not. It's about getting them back on
Negligence.
that field.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I
And
like.
most of the time, that includes making them addicted to painkillers, literally.
Oh yeah,
And
yeah.
and that's the sad part about it, because a lot of these people, they don't get me wrong, they're young up and coming smart people. Like, don't get me wrong, they're there for a
Mm-hmm.
reason. But
Mm-hmm.
at the end of the day, there's no incentive, and that's why I feel like it should be on, in the case of combat sports, it should be on the commission, and in the case of the NFL, it should be on the officials. And I
Mm-hmm.
know that's a little different because one of them is legal and one of them's not, but I feel like if they really need to take the step up and stop this shit from happening, because it's in the culture for it to
Right.
continue happening. And we
Right.
see, you don't see it yet in MMA, but you see how since day one this has become a part of the culture, and how it comes full circle at the end
Mm-hmm.
of these guys' lives.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what really needs to be taken into account.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
But
I
all
agree.
right, that was a long rant to say that the Packers are going to cook the Steelers this
Packers.
week.
Oh man, they're gonna have fun.
For sure.
Yeah.
All right. Next up, a sneaky good game. I don't think it's a close one, but everyone's going to be talking about it. We got Bucks at New England.
Oh, no, this is not close
I
at all.
think I think Brady shows out just to talk shit. Like, I
Oh
think
yeah.
after this game, like, they're
Yeah.
gonna try everything to stifle him. I think
Mm-hmm.
after this game, he's gonna be talking. Petty Brady is gonna be out in full effect.
Bro, I almost feel like they're gonna win this game by 25.
Yep,
And I don't shoot. I don't make
2
score
points. Yep.
predictions. I don't do that. I think they're gonna win this game by 25 plus. This might look like another Madden simulation. I really don't know. I like I don't know how. And New England, they just lost James White, who I almost traded for.
Ooh, lucky.
I dodged the bullet. Yeah, man.
I like Damian Harris though.
Oh yeah. He's good. He's good. But you lost James White. They're not doing anything. They're not going to do anything this week. Yeah, yeah. Brady's not going to go back to New England where he's made his name over the last 20 years and lose. He's not doing that. Gronk will be out there too. It's I almost feel like predicting they're going to get 3 touchdowns between the two of them.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
Just
and
between
that's
Brady
fair.
and Gronk, 3 touchdowns, easy.
And the fact that Gronk has been looking so good has been one of my feel good moments this season. I'm
Yeah,
not gonna lie.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
All right, this is a big one. We don't get Monday night games like this every week. All right,
Yeah,
Raiders in the new building.
yeah.
What do you at Chargers? What are you thinking, man?
I think the Raiders are playing above what they should be playing.
I agree.
They're not. They should be playing this way. But like, this makes no sense. At the end of the day, I'm taking the Chargers though.
Got you.
Yeah.
I think the biggest part about why it makes no sense too is the way that they're playing. Like, they're
Yeah.
not taking advantage of Josh Jacobs. They're not they're not
Bro,
playing.
I don't even know if Josh Jacobs plays this week. Like,
Yep.
if he doesn't play, like I don't even think they miss him out there.
Literally.
It's weird. Like, this makes no sense. You've been playing like this is not far off. They had this pretty much the same roster as last year, correct?
Yeah, for the most part.
So what the hell? Like, what's it?
I think their
What's the
biggest thing has been
difference?
the growth on defense. I think their time on offense has been a lot more
Yeah,
fun
yeah,
for them because
yeah.
their defense has been
They've been playing
and they
well.
don't have to be great. Exactly. They're not great.
Mhm.
They're playing better than expected. And with a
Yeah,
team like that that's very dynamic on offense, that's all you need. I'm not gonna lie, I'm not sold on Carr. And my reason for it is
me either.
he does this every season.
I
There's
was about
always
to, this.
times where he heats up for a period of a certain amount of weeks and it's quick to overreact.
Yeah,
Um,
Yeah.
But at some point, he's going to go back out there throwing interceptions, in my opinion.
It's gonna be it's always like this 4 to 6 week span that he'll play well, and then all of a sudden everything comes crashing down. And I don't trust him either. I don't trust him either. I was wondering, like, at the beginning of the season, like, how long are we going to continue to sit here and expect Carr to be the guy? How long are they going to wait until they actually decide to go ahead and move on?
Damn.
So he's helping himself right now.
100%.
He's helping himself right now, but I expect this fantasy to end.
And even in that Ravens game, you saw that, like,
Yeah,
the interception. You saw those moments.
yeah.
But I like that he's riding high, like you said. I think it's crazy that I'm saying this, but Panthers about to be the only undefeated team left in the NFL. Man, what's going on? What's going on? Yeah, I'm definitely going with the Chargers here. I think that this game should also be a fun one. I
It's
think
gonna be fun.
both of these teams' defenses have some issues. So it's gonna be who gets that play, and I think play Mike Williams, play Keenan Allen. Like, don't sleep. Like, this game is gonna be a big one.
This is gonna be a good one. I'm gonna have fun. I'm getting the popcorn out for this one.
For sure.
Yeah.
Well, all right, man.
Sure.
I'm gonna say real quick. Last week, I had the fortune of going 12-4. You went 10-6. Right now, on the season, I am 30-18, and you are 31-17. We are almost double over 500. How are we doing this well? I need to figure it out, like, legit. At this point, I'm just expecting this week to go like 6-10. But let's go. Let's keep this train rolling.
Hey, man.
And I wish I could play. Shit, you out there, you could make it happen, bro.
I could
start making these plays, man.
That's the thing. I'm not a betting man,
mm-hmm.
But yeah, I think I might try and take advantage of it a little bit.
For sure. Any last words?
Watch. We're gonna have, like, pretty much all of our picks are gonna be spot on this week.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I've been liking it, man. I'm trusting us, dude. I'm telling you, send this to everybody that you know has any sort of action, anybody that you know is into NFL.
Yeah.
Swear to God, we know what we're talking about, man. We know what we're talking about.
Yeah, for sure. All day. All right, man. Give me your handles real quick.
Yes, sir. You can catch me on Twitter at Negron MMA, and you could also catch me on Instagram, Chris Negron _. I'm going to continue to try to put out content. We're going to be releasing a new podcast on Sunday, so I'm looking forward to it. MMA Archive is in full effect, baby. So looking forward to that. Hope you guys have a good week. And most importantly, do not forget, take care of yourselves, man.
Oh, yeah.
Take care of yourselves. I mean it. If you got something going on in your life, if you got something that's been bothering you, find somebody to talk to and be honest with yourself. Because at the end of the day, you don't ever want to be in a position where you got everyone pointing at you and saying, you're fucking up, Jon Jones, and you're too unaware to realize it. Give them your socials, Derrick.
Yes, sir. All right. Derrick _OTS, DERRICK. I'd rather you follow the brand page, though, at OTS Guys on all social media platforms, youtube.com/OTS Guys, OTSguys.com. You can check all those platforms out. We have a lot of articles on the website, new articles coming, and I have to rearrange some things on the website. So be on the lookout. We have some new shows coming and new people coming on board with different shows. So be on the lookout for those. And give us some feedback. Let us know what you think about the shows. Let us know, especially what you think about the Sideline Guys. We are back. We're in full effect. We're coming back hard with more content, so, just tune in and check us out and just support us as much as possible. So I will wrap it up at that point. We appreciate you guys for listening or watching on YouTube, and we will catch y'all next week.
Peace.